Every once in a while, a machine appears that seems less like a product and more like a statement. Not just metal and glass, but national pride forged into motion. It challenges convention, bends the rules of what a car should feel like, and leaves an imprint that enthusiasts still debate decades later. It is the kind of creation that aimed not only to compete, but to redefine what elegance and performance could mean when fused together by ambition and technology. It was born in an era when optimism ran on fuel and the future was shaped in wind tunnels and drafting rooms. The story behind it is one of visionaries convinced they could outthink physics, outrun tradition, and maybe, just maybe, outshine legends who had ruled the road for years. Yet that same brilliance carried the seeds of its own downfall, proving that innovation without restraint can be both breathtaking and fragile. This is the tale of daring design, high-speed glamour, and mechanical genius that burned too bright to last. Like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments which automotive legend you want to see next. In 1971, the Citroën SM arrived as a symbol of French confidence and engineering audacity. The kind of car that looked like it had driven straight out of a sci-fi film and into the real world. Citroën had just acquired Maserati, and this partnership produced a machine unlike anything else on the road. The SM fused Citroën's hydropneumatic suspension and futuristic styling with an Italian-built V6, aiming to blend comfort and speed into something entirely new. To understand how the Citroën SM came to be, you have to look back at the mindset of France in the late 1960s. Citroën was at its creative peak after the success of the DS, a car that redefined automotive comfort and aerodynamics. The company wanted to extend that brilliance into the realm of high-performance touring cars. Not to compete in racing, but to dominate the highways of Europe in silent, sophisticated power. Citroën's leadership envisioned a car that would glide over rough roads with the serenity of a limousine, but accelerate like a grand tourer. They wanted to create not just transportation, but an experience of motion so refined that drivers would feel insulated from the world. This idea became the SM, short for Serie Maserati, a name that carried both technical partnership and marketing allure. From the beginning, the Citroën SM was a bold contradiction. Its long, aerodynamic body cut through the air with an elegance no other Grand Tourer could match. Yet beneath that sculpted exterior lay an array of mechanical systems that seemed closer to aerospace than automotive design. The hydropneumatic suspension kept the car perfectly level regardless of load or road surface. The steering system, known as Duravi, varied its assistance based on speed, light as a feather in parking lots, firm and precise on highways. At its heart was a 2.7-liter Maserati V6 that delivered roughly 170 horsepower, paired to either a manual or an automatic transmission. This combination made the SM fast by touring standards, but its real talent was composure. At high speeds, it felt serene. The body floated while the tires stayed glued to the pavement. Citroën's engineers obsessed over every detail. The headlights, 6 behind a glass fairing, swiveled with the steering to illuminate corners. The braking system used hydraulic pressure instead of conventional pedals, providing near-instant response. The cabin mixed futuristic minimalism with luxury. Sculpted seats, an oval steering wheel, and a dashboard that looked more spacecraft than sedan. The SM was not simply designed to impress. It was engineered to demonstrate that France could produce a Grand Tourer as advanced as anything from Italy or Germany. Its introduction at the Geneva Motor Show caused a sensation. Journalists marveled at how quiet and smooth it was, how it seemed to erase imperfections in the road. For a moment, it appeared that Citroën had rewritten the rules. But behind the applause, challenges began to appear. Citroën's pursuit of perfection had created a machine so complex that few mechanics could understand it. The SM required specialized tools and careful maintenance, particularly for its hydraulic systems. Owners soon discovered that small errors could lead to expensive repairs. The Maserati engine, although sophisticated, demanded attention. Its timing chains and valve adjustments were delicate, and parts were costly. Yet none of this was visible to the average buyer at first. Early owners included diplomats, celebrities, and design icons who wanted something more individual than a German coupe and more refined than an Italian exotic. For them, the Citroën SM embodied progress and taste. Driving one through Paris or along the Côte d'Azur was like piloting a vision of the future. The French press celebrated it as a national triumph, proof that innovation could be beautiful. But the car's brilliance carried hidden risks. Citroën had invested heavily in its development, betting that its technological leadership would translate into broad appeal. The SM was expensive to produce and even more expensive to service, limiting its market. As the oil crisis loomed and economic conditions shifted, the Grand Tour's timing turned out to be disastrous. Still, in those early years, optimism ran high. The SM won design awards across Europe and earned admiration for its engineering sophistication. Reviewers praised its stability at 120 miles per hour and its uncanny ability to absorb potholes without transmitting vibration to the cabin. Even rival manufacturers took notice, studying its steering and suspension systems. Citroën had built something that defied easy classification. Part sports car, part luxury cruiser, entirely its own category. What made the Citroën SM so intriguing was not only its performance, but its personality. It didn't roar or posture like a conventional Grand Tourer. It whispered refinement, confidence, and intelligence. To drive it was to engage with a philosophy that valued smoothness over aggression, control over chaos. In that sense, it reflected the cultural mood of early 1970s France. Stylish, intellectual, and slightly rebellious against convention. The SM was the rolling embodiment of that spirit. For engineers, it represented a victory of precision and imagination. For Citroën's accountants, it represented a looming financial challenge. The car's cost structure, its limited production, and its demanding maintenance regime all hinted at trouble ahead. Yet in that first chapter of its life, the SM stood as proof that audacity could create beauty. It was a masterclass in how far a company could push design and technology when guided by vision rather than fear. Every contour, every system in the Citroën SM told the story of ambition without compromise. For a few shining years, it worked. France had a Grand Tourer that turned heads across the world, and Citroën seemed unstoppable. That moment of triumph, however, would soon meet the reality of economics, reliability, and shifting priorities, revealing that innovation's greatest test is not creation, but survival. The Citroën SM's brilliance was undeniable, but brilliance alone cannot sustain a car in the real world. By the time the Citroën SM reached showrooms, its complexity was already raising eyebrows. The same systems that made it revolutionary also made it fragile under normal ownership. Its hydro-pneumatic suspension required exact maintenance intervals. The Duravi steering, though ingenious, demanded expertise that few mechanics possessed. Citroën had created a masterpiece of engineering sophistication that required the kind of care usually reserved for aircraft, not daily drivers. For many buyers, that reality quickly overshadowed the SM's charm. The Maserati V6, beautiful to listen to, needed frequent servicing. Its timing chains stretched, valves drifted out of adjustment, and oil changes had to be meticulous. Citroën had taken on the challenge of combining two engineering cultures, French hydraulic precision and Italian high-performance mechanics. And the result, while spectacular, lacked harmony. The SM was caught between two worlds, too luxurious to be a sports car, too temperamental to be a long-distance cruiser. Yet it was this conflict that made it fascinating. Every element of the Citroën SM was an attempt to refine the driving experience beyond what any rival dared. Its suspension adjusted ride height automatically. Its steering corrected itself back to center. Its aerodynamics were shaped through wind tunnel testing when most manufacturers still relied on instinct. In theory, the SM should have been the future. In practice, it was often misunderstood. Drivers accustomed to conventional cars found the controls strange. The brake pedal was not a pedal at all but a pressure-sensitive button that operated on hydraulic logic. The steering felt unnervingly light at low speeds, almost disconnected, until drivers learned to trust it. This learning curve created a divide between enthusiasts and casual buyers. Those who understood the car's language adored it. Those who didn't, traded it in. The automotive press admired the ambition but began to question the reliability. Citroën faced warranty claims that strained its finances, already burdened by the cost of the SM's development. The timing could not have been worse. The 1973 oil crisis hit Europe, and demand for large, fuel-hungry Grand Tourers plummeted. Fuel economy became the new status symbol, not top speed. Citroën, with its futuristic luxury coupe, suddenly found itself out of step with the market. The SM's 2.7-liter or later 3.0-liter engine, while smooth, was thirsty. Maintenance costs climbed, Resale values dropped, and parts shortages frustrated owners. For Citroën, the SM had been a statement of capability, but it became a financial anchor. Yet even amid this decline, the Citroën SM retained a magnetic allure. Its performance on open roads remained unmatched in comfort and stability. On the autoroutes of France, it cruised effortlessly at high speed, barely disturbed by wind or surface imperfections. Drivers who mastered its systems described it as almost telepathic in response. It did exactly what you intended, just differently than any other car. This duality, of genius and fragility, defined its legacy. Engineers admired its courage. Accountants feared its consequences. The SM was not just another model. It was a test of how far a brand could push innovation before it became unsustainable. Citroën's ownership of Maserati, intended to provide a pipeline of performance technology, turned into a liability as maintenance and regulatory costs mounted. The Italian connection that had once seemed glamorous now complicated everything from supply chains to emissions compliance. When Peugeot acquired Citroën in 1974, the new management took a hard look at the balance sheets. The SM's future was untenable. Production quietly ended in 1975. In just 4 years, fewer than 13,000 examples were built. Yet despite its commercial failure, the Citroën SM left an impact that reached far beyond sales figures. It challenged the automotive world to rethink what luxury could mean. Instead of leather and chrome excess, it offered technology, refinement, and aerodynamic efficiency as new forms of prestige. Its influence seeped into later designs. Features like variable steering assistance, adaptive suspensions, and integrated aerodynamics all trace some inspiration back to the SM. What makes the story of the Citroën SM so compelling is not its success, but its audacity. Citroën knew it was gambling against convention and chose to proceed anyway. That confidence produced a car that still feels decades ahead of its time. Even today, when parked beside modern vehicles, its silhouette looks like a design study from the future. Its glass-covered nose, tapering tail, and low stance remain breathtaking. Inside, the dashboard still feels like an experiment in ergonomics and futurism, where every dial and switch seems deliberately unconventional. For collectors, restoring an SM is a labor of love and patience. The complexity that once frustrated mechanics now fascinates enthusiasts who see it as a puzzle worth solving. In this way, the SM has achieved what it always deserved: cult status. The Citroën SM stands as a reminder of what happens when innovation ignores practicality. It was not built to maximize profit or simplicity. It was built to prove that engineering could be art. And while its fall was swift, its vision endures. The SM showed that ambition is not measured only by success, but by the courage to attempt something no one else would dare. That idea, born in 1971, still resonates whenever designers and engineers push boundaries in pursuit of something extraordinary. The Citroën SM was never just a car. It was an experiment in elegance, a statement of national pride, and a lesson in the cost of dreaming too big. Its story reminds us that every great leap forward carries risk, and that sometimes, the most unforgettable creations are those that burn brightly, even if briefly. By the mid-1970s, the Citroën SM had become a symbol of unfulfilled promise. The vision that once captivated the world began to fade, but its influence quietly continued to ripple through automotive design and engineering. The Citroën SM represented an approach to driving that valued intelligence over aggression. It sought to make speed effortless and comfort absolute. Even as production ceased, the car's philosophy lived on. Engineers from other manufacturers studied its systems, learning from its successes and failures alike. The SM's hydro-pneumatic suspension, though costly, inspired later adaptive suspensions that used electronics instead of hydraulics. The concept of variable steering assistance became common decades later in luxury cars. What was once seen as eccentric became standard. Yet no car since has quite captured the same balance of serenity and spectacle. The Citroën SM existed at the intersection of art and science, where performance served beauty instead of the other way around. Its lines were sculpted by aerodynamics, but they also carried emotion. Its technology was advanced, but it was applied with a sense of theater. The result was a driving experience that felt otherworldly. Soft yet precise, futuristic yet tangible. Those who have driven a well-maintained Citroën SM describe it as surreal. The car glides over rough roads as if detached from gravity, the suspension leveling itself silently, the steering returning to center with uncanny grace. It does not ask to be driven fast. It encourages smoothness, as though rewarding restraint. That was Citroën's genius, engineering a car that taught its driver a new way to move. While rival manufacturers pursued power and lap times, the SM pursued serenity at speed. It redefined what luxury performance could mean, suggesting that comfort could coexist with control. This idea, once dismissed as indulgent, eventually shaped the DNA of modern grand tourers. Cars today that emphasize seamless power delivery, low drag, and adaptive ride comfort owe an unspoken debt to the SM. Even the way modern cars integrate aerodynamics into design language can be traced back to its glass-covered nose and teardrop profile. The Citroën SM was more than just ahead of its time. It was out of sync with it. The world of the 1970s was turning toward efficiency, standardization, and cost control. The SM represented the opposite: experimentation, national pride, and boundless imagination. That clash sealed its fate. Yet for enthusiasts and historians, this is what gives the Citroën SM its timeless appeal. It reminds us of a period when car makers were willing to take risks that seem unimaginable today. It was the physical manifestation of optimism, the belief that technology could make everything smoother, faster, and more elegant. The SM's legacy also lies in its influence on Citroën itself. Though the brand would retreat into safer, more conventional designs under new ownership, the lessons of the SM lingered. It showed how far the company could go when creativity was unrestricted. Decades later, concept cars from Citroën continued to reference its fluid lines and aerodynamic philosophy. The SM became a benchmark for ambition, a reminder that the brand was once fearless. Collectors today treat the Citroën SM with reverence. Restored examples appear at concours events and private collections, often parked beside machines that once outperformed them but never outshone them in elegance. Restorers face challenges sourcing parts, especially components from the Maserati-built engines, but the devotion persists. Each working SM on the road represents a small act of preservation for an era when engineering dared to dream. In motion, the SM still turns heads. Its long nose, sharp glass canopy, and low stance look as futuristic now as they did over 50 years ago. It carries the aura of a time when national identity and design innovation converged. The SM was France declaring that it could equal Italy in style and Germany in precision, doing so in its own uniquely cerebral way. And in that sense, it succeeded. Few cars, then or now, achieve such a delicate equilibrium between art and function. The Citroën SM taught the automotive world a lesson that still resonates: that beauty and technology need not be opposites, and that perfection can sometimes mean imperfection embraced. It asked its owners to understand it, to learn its quirks, and in return, it offered an experience no other car could match. Its story is not one of failure, but of endurance through admiration. Every engineer who studies its hydraulic system, every designer who traces its curves, every enthusiast who keeps one alive contributes to the afterlife of this remarkable creation. The Citroën SM's light may have dimmed commercially, but its glow continues to illuminate what ambition looks like when it is unconcerned with compromise. It stands as both inspiration and warning, a reminder that innovation without restraint can stumble, but that true progress requires the courage to try anyway. The SM remains an enduring echo of what happens when imagination leads, even if the world is not yet ready to follow. The Citroën SM remains one of the most fascinating cars ever produced, a bold declaration that technology, style, and comfort could coexist in harmony. By the end of its production in 1975, fewer than 13,000 units had been built, yet its impact extended far beyond that number. The Citroën SM captured a fleeting moment when car design felt limitless, when boundaries were meant to be tested rather than obeyed. It was not built to please everyone. It was built to express what was possible. In doing so, it became a mirror reflecting both the genius and fragility of innovation. Its failure was not due to lack of vision, but the world's inability to keep up with it. Every curve, every hydraulic whisper, every kilometer it traveled spoke of an idea that cared more for perfection than practicality. That philosophy gave the Citroën SM its enduring mystique. To enthusiasts today, it represents a kind of mechanical poetry, a union of art and engineering that no algorithm or focus group could ever reproduce. When people see one glide silently across a modern street, it still looks out of place. Not because it is old, but because it is timeless. The SM was never meant to blend in. It was designed to stand apart. The car's story also reminds us that progress comes with risk. For Citroën, the SM was both triumph and burden. It expanded the limits of what the brand could achieve, yet it also stretched those limits too far financially. But history has a way of forgiving daring. Decades later, the Citroën SM is celebrated precisely because it refused to play it safe. Its DNA lives on in every car that values innovation for its own sake. Features that once seemed extravagant, adaptive suspension, variable steering, aerodynamic refinement, are now standard in the vehicles we drive daily. That is the SM's quiet victory. The Citroën SM did not conquer the world. It changed the conversation. It proved that luxury could mean effortlessness, that speed could be smooth, that design could be both functional and emotional. Those ideas continue to shape the industry's most admired creations. For those who build cars, the SM is a reminder to dream bigger. For those who love cars, it is a reminder that passion and precision can coexist. Half a century later, its lesson still feels urgent. True innovation is not about following trends, but about believing in the impossible. The Citroën SM was proof that one extraordinary idea can outlast every practical concern. Its place in automotive history is secure, not as a commercial success, but as a symbol of what happens when imagination drives the machine. It will always stand as the car that dared to think differently and made the world look twice.